Okay, I am Robert T. Murphy. I am the Libertarian candidate for the U.S. Senate in Oklahoma in 2016. I'm continuing my commentary on Senator Lankford's maiden speech before the U.S. Senate. Brett, please insert the portion of Mr. Lankford's speech in which he talks about eliminating red tape right here. Mr. Lankford seems to be anxious to eliminate red tape. I've heard this all of my life. Mark Twain wrote about the red tape back in the 1800s. I mean, this has been going on. The bureaucracy has been going on for a long, long time. Mr. Lankford seems to be ignorant of the Grace Commission that was popular in the 1980s. J.R. Grace, an industrialist here during the Reagan administration, formulated a commission to eliminate red tape. The Brownlow Commission in the 1940s was supposed to eliminate red tape. The idea, though, is that Mr. Lankford will not go for the root of the problem, which is that the legislative branch of the United States gave up its power during the Great Depression of the 1930s. They gave up their legislative power to the executive branch. Back in Roman times, during a great crisis, the Romans would elect a dictator who had extraordinary powers to straighten things out, but that dictator could only stay in office for 2 years. We have been living under what is legally, really, dictatorial powers for over 80 years. And it was done during the Depression. The Federal Reserve corrupted the currency all during the 20s, printed a lot of money and created a vast bubble, and people lost their pensions and their bank accounts and everything when the market collapsed in 1929 and right down through 1932. When Roosevelt was elected in his first 100 days, they passed a law. The Congress passed a law. It was an amendment, the March 1933 amendment to the 1914 Trading with the Enemies Act. During World War I in 1914, they passed the Trading with the Enemies Act, and it gave the president the power to investigate and restrict trading with enemy nations. And Germany at that time, we had declared them as an enemy. What the March 1933 amendment did was give the president the power to declare an emergency on his own prerogative and use that emergency to take control and investigate every single transaction in the United States. And we have been living for the past 80 years, or more than 80 years, under that umbrella. Those first declarations of emergency are still in force. And that is why we have this vast bureaucracy that can grow in Washington, that has unelected bureaucrats that have legislative power that can tell you what you can grow, what you can smoke, what you can drink, what you can take as medicine, what you can do for a living. These people have vast powers, and they love it. And Mr. Lankford seems to be completely ignorant of the roots of the problem and will do nothing to change them. He's worried about one or two departments that both make armored vests for policemen and things like that. This is crazy. You need to go to the root of the problem. You need to go right to the root and bring back the legislative power to the legislature and let the executive execute the laws. Only the legislature can legislate. He complains about the size of the Federal Register, which is what, all the regulations that all these bureaucratic institutions dream up. But he won't go to the root of the problem because he's ignorant. He's a kid, That's all I have to say about that particular thing.